Over the years, this place has played host to some of the most amazing moments in snooker. But for me and many others, still the greatest of them all has to be the 1985 final, when it came down to the final ball in the final frame. I've come down here today to meet the man himself, Dennis Taylor. Hello Dennis, 30 years.
Nice to see you.
Since the day.
Being a crucible, isn't it?
Yeah. Well Dennis, it's been 30 years since that memorable night in 1985 when you played Steve Davis. Here we are sitting up at the top here looking down at the crucible. How does it feel being sat here rather than sat down there?
I can't believe it's 30 years, Ronnie. What were you, nine at the time?
I was around about 9 or 10, yeah.
Unbelievable. You were still making maximum breaks then, weren't you? That was the age I started playing, incidentally. But no, to be back here, okay, I've been here every year since 1977, either playing or commentating. And cannot believe it's 30 years since Steve and myself played that final. And we never dreamt that people would still be talking about it. People wind me up saying that I'm always talking about it, but there's people that want to talk to me about it, and I've never been fed up chatting about it.
So what was going through your mind 8-0 down? You're like, you know, first to 18, you're playing obviously the most dominant player there is on the circuit. What was going through your mind at that stage?
Well, as I say, I lost all 7 frames. We used to play 7 in the first session. I lost the first in the evening, and the thing I was always thinking was, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just sitting in the seat. He's not making many mistakes. So I thought, well, just try and get one frame on the board. And the first frame that I got, really, if we had been level in score, Steve probably wouldn't have taken the green on, because he remembers that shot. It stands out. It wobbled, and I potted the green to pink. And I remember raising my finger and saying, at least I've got one frame. But then, because I'd been playing so well, suddenly it kicked into gear. To be only 9-7 behind after that first day, well, I felt like I'd sort of won the World Championship from 8-0 down to be just 2 behind.
So you're 9-7 down, coming into the final day, Bank Holiday Monday, everyone knows, for the last day of the World Championships. You've obviously come back. You're feeling good, yeah? You feeling good?
I'm feeling fantastic. In fact, you just made the little mistake that Steve made as well, and everybody makes, because it was a Sunday. It wasn't a bank holiday Monday.
Okay.
Back then in '85, it used to finish on a Sunday night.
That's why they brought the bank holiday in, because of that famous match, Dennis. You never know.
And I was so looking forward then, although I didn't get much sleep, and Steve never got much sleep. I mean, I was on such a high after being so far behind, so I didn't sleep much. But as you know, when you get out there, sleep doesn't matter. The adrenaline keeps you going. So I just wanted to get out there and get started, but I could never get in front of him. What's going through your mind at 17 or you've obviously had your back against the wall the whole time. By rights you should be out of the game, but you're sitting here 17 or you don't really get many opportunities to win. You know, we're privileged to have won this title, you know, people that have won it. What was going through your mind at 17 or? It's hard to describe, and it's down to one frame after 17 days, and you know, it turns out, you know, people say that's the greatest frame of snooker ever seen. If it had been the first frame of the match, it would have been the worst frame of snooker ever seen, because in that last frame we were both missing pots that you wouldn't normally miss. Our safety game was excellent. There was an awful lot of safety went on in that last frame, which lasted 68 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was just a matter of hanging in, hoping you get a chance, and it looked like Steve wasn't going to dish up with one chance, because I could tell by his face, as he could tell by my face, because when I'm under pressure, and you've probably seen it a few times yourself, I get pink, and then I get red, and then I get slightly redder. The nugget, Steve, gets white, and then whiter, and you know, so you got the complete contrast. He was going white, I was getting redder, and it just captured the imagination, and to finish up with 18.5 million watching, you know, if we had known there was that many watching, I don't think we'd been able to lift the queue. That brings me back to the last frame, because obviously it came down to, I think, obviously Steve potted the last red, didn't get on the pink. Was left with a brown, which I know you said was probably one of the best pressure balls you've ever potted. Yeah, long brown. Yeah, I remember I couldn't. Half a pocket. Yeah, I couldn't see a safety shot. It was down near the balk line, and I thought, well, rather than try a safety shot after working so hard, I had it in my mind at that time, rather than try a safety shot, mess it up and Steve goes in and wins. I mean, what a way to lose. So I thought, have a go. If you miss it, you know you've gone out fighting. And when the brown went in, I was more than delighted. But the blue I had was a funny little blue,
tricky blue
across the cushion, and I hit it. Well, I potted it, but I remember trying to nudge the white off the cushion because I'm not good on the cushion, and it was clear the cushion, and then the pink. I knew if I potted the pink, I was leaving a double on the black. I mean, I had my mind made up there, and I was going to have a go at the double on the black.
Did you not think of the in-off with the white in the middle?
Never,
coming around 1, 2, 3,
never even dreamt of that. In fact, that's the first time anyone's mentioned that, so it would only be you that would have spotted that one. I just decided that, I don't know why to this day, after I potted the pink, I went and kissed the little lady on the top of the lid of the trophy. Why did I do that? It must have been to say, I'm either going to win you with this shot or lose you. Took the double on, and all the people, I mean, it's so intimate here in the Crucible, and they're all in line with the middle pocket, so they started cheering. So I thought I won the World Championship, and I missed the pocket by a fraction. But luckily, it went safe on the top cushion.
Do you feel destiny was there with you that night?
At that stage it was, because throughout that final, Ronnie, believe it or not, I was chatting the whole way through that final to my mum. There was two fellas behind me I was chatting to, but I was chatting to my dear old mum, who died suddenly at 62 during the just before the Grand Prix, which I wasn't going to play in, and I did go and play in that and played the best snooker in my career. So she arrived at the Crucible with me as well, because when I was under pressure, I had somebody to chat to, and when I did miss the double, and then Steve did mess up and double kissed it, I thought, well, this is the chance. Now, try and keep your head still. And we shot down past the blue spot, the green spot. Just try and keep your head still. Push the cue in and out 4 or 5 times, through in a straight line. The camera went behind my shoulder. What a biggest twitch ever seen at the Crucible.
Understand all that. I mean, we're talking the final World Championships. I mean, the nerves must have been unbelievable. And I know the blacks obviously come around the table, and a lot of people looking at the black, they think, no, it's a bit of a gimme, but actually into a blind pocket, 17 all, I don't really want to be playing that type of shot. And you're standing right behind it. So what was going through your mind? You see Davis get up, he's got a black, by rights, people think he should pot because it was near the hole. You're standing behind it. What are you thinking?
Well, when I missed the black, because I missed it by so much, it nearly come into the pocket.
You look
so
like
I'm looking down, I thought, might fluke it. And when I didn't, I walked back. But then when I turned around, it wasn't as close to the pocket as I thought it was going to finish. Still expected him to pot it. 970 people here thought he was going to pot it. 18.5 million at home thought he was going to pot it. But Steve, you know, never spoke about it for years. But he's great when he talks about it. He said as he got up to pot that black, I don't know if you've spoken to Steve about it. He said his legs, he didn't feel like his legs. And he walked across the floor there. He said his arms felt like somebody else's. And he's got down, as you said, back into a blind pocket. You hit them thick under pressure. His brain saying, don't hit it thick, don't hit it thick. And he didn't. He hit it too thin, he overcompensated. And I mean, he knew that I wasn't going to miss the black because it was easier than the one that he missed.
But even still, I know any ball's missable, but under that type of pressure, that black for you to pot it, did you think, oh, don't twitch, don't do this, or was you like, no, this is going in, I'm not missing this is in?
Well, I've done the twitching on the previous shot, so, and somehow that white, you know, fate again, how that white, from that angle, I've often tried to set it up, how the white went round the table so far. If it had stopped at the blue spot, me with the rest,
impossible.
Forget about it. You know what I was like with the rest. I mean, it's a good job there was no stats back then. It'd be 1 out of 100, and it kept on going. But you know that final black, Ronnie, I never gripped the cue. You know, you've got all different grips and that, but all I did, I kept my thumb out of the way, and the cue, the butt was just on the 4 fingers, and I took ages on that shot. When they show that shot, it looks like it's on freeze frame. I took that long, and really so that I wouldn't snatch or jerk at it, I just let go of the cue, and that lovely little black disappeared into the corner pocket.
Fantastic. I've got to have a go at this.
I think you should.
I can't miss that.
You've never tried this shot?
Never tried it.
It's near enough. I think that's near enough, because this is what we were talking about. Steve, when he came, he was thinking, don't hit it thick. Don't hit it thick, which you do under pressure.
Yeah.
And he hit it too thin.
Probably would have been better off hitting it thick though.
Well, Let's see if you'll knock it in, no problem, I'm sure.
Can't miss that, can you?
Yeah, well, you
Hey,
No.
hold it with my eyes shut then.
Yeah, now play with your right hand, don't be playing with your left
Oh yeah,
hand.
with left hand, yeah. Here we go. Oh, look, straight in, can't miss it. Oh,
Look at that. Now, look at the white.
Back the enough, back the enough.
Never thought about that. If he had a potted. Now, what if he had a potted it
And
like
gone
you
in
did
off?
and went in off?
he'd have committed suicide.
Now, let's see if you can hit it too thin.
Right, I'm going to see if I can do.
Because-
I'm going to see if I can do a Davis now. Oh, look, I'm sorry.
But this is what I was saying. If the white, how the white didn't finish around the blue spot, because the black. Let's see, the black somewhere around there, and somehow the white kept on going.
Is this it? I mean, because obviously you should know. I mean, like,
Let's just do it here.
it looked a bit thinner than that to me. Yeah, yeah. Was it like that? Wow.
I think it was something like that. So that was a lot easier than the one that he missed.
Oh
really,
yeah.
wasn't it? Because and as I say, I didn't. Normally the way you hold the cue, I just kept the thumb out of the
So you
way.
kept it nice and light. Just thought, right, just get the cue through. Don't stab it.
Now, I've got the wrong glasses on here, so I took ages, and now I just let go. And then, and I was stamping the cue and then wagging the fingers.
Brilliant moment.
Still doing it 30 years on, and I hope we can go for another few years yet.
Brilliant, fantastic. Loved it. I hope I don't have to go for a black 17 all final frame. Don't think I could handle it.
Cheers again, Ronnie.
Dennis, thanks. Love it.